Highly sensitive people, and I'm talking about the trait of being highly sensitive, also known as HSP, generally don't like anger or conflict. But what do you do when you're the one experiencing anger? Like the kind that burns around your heart and it's in there and it hurts and you can't focus on anything else and there's no way you can think about the problem rationally and it's just taking over everything. There's nothing wrong with anger itself, but it can be a good signal to us or mean we need to become aware of something or acknowledge it. But when we are overtaken by it, it's no longer a productive emotion. It's a destructive emotion when it's prolonged and it's damaging to our own body. No matter what or who else is involved, whatever outside factor, whatever we're blaming it on, it's out there, but we're the ones sitting in here feeling trapped with our own anger and really just can't even function. So I'm not saying to avoid or repress anger, but in this video I'm giving you a 3-step process to deal with your anger that works incredibly well for me, and I hope that it helps you too. Hi, I'm Wendy Williams and I teach Tai Chi for highly sensitive people. We make up 20% of the population and need a quiet way to recenter and recharge from stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. Join me in this journey so you can feel strong, calm, and at ease. I'm Wendy Williams and this is Tai Chi Life. Anger can be a real challenge for HSPs because we generally want to avoid conflict. We are easily affected by yelling and intense emotions. And it's not easy for us to express ourselves well in a conflict, and often pretty easy for the other person to out anger or out express us. Now we know that anger is the signal. What we really want to get to is the underlying problem. But we can't do that when we're trapped in the anger. We need to clear the way and then we can address the problem. How can we do that? I'm going to share my steps. We're not going to repress or ignore the anger. We're going to make it so we can deal with it. Hear me out about the whole process. Before we begin, I want you to imagine 2 friends. One is highly sensitive like you and has difficulty dealing with other people's anger, and it takes a lot of her energy. Let's call her Rosie. The other friend is active and outgoing and isn't fazed by much. She's the kind of person who really isn't bothered when other people are feeling angry. She lets things roll off her back. Let's call her Millie. So we have Rosie and Millie, and we'll get back to them later. First, if at all possible, you need to find a place to walk. Walking is a part of this process. So ideally go somewhere outside where you can just keep walking without interruption. Other options would be a treadmill or at the very least walking on the spot. If walking holds any difficulty for you, sitting and flexing your leg muscles can work too. Anger is an active emotion, so we need to be moving. Step 2. As you're walking, notice where you're feeling the anger. For me, it's always burning around my heart and it physically hurts. Maybe you feel it in your head, your throat, or your belly. What we want to do is take the anger and move it down. So let's say you're feeling it around your heart. Try to start moving it down into your belly. Don't worry, it's not going to stay there. Now, maybe you were feeling it higher. See if you can move it directly to your belly, or maybe you need to move it down in steps. Or maybe it was already in your belly, so you have a head start. Try to feel it there while you're walking. Now, move the anger into your thigh muscles. That's our goal. So now keep walking and feel the anger in your thighs. Just keep on focusing on it being there. Why are we doing this? Remember those 2 friends we talked about? Rosie is the highly sensitive and Millie is the more strong and steady type. Which one of those 2 friends would you hand your ball of anger to? Would you give it to Rosie, knowing it would be quite an extra burden on her? Or would you give it to Millie, knowing that she could handle it without it bothering her? I would imagine you would give it to Millie. Rosie is like your heart. Your heart is strong and lovely, but it's also sensitive, and it has a very important job to do. So we don't need to be giving it this burden that can be damaging to it. Millie is like your strong thigh muscles. The quadriceps femoris is the largest muscle mass in the body. And Millie can take the problem without getting drawn into it. Look at it and start breaking it down so we can do something about it. Keep feeling that anger in your thighs Anytime you feel it back in your heart, lower it to your thighs and just keep the rhythm of your walking. Even if it's hard to feel this, imagine it and keep walking. As more thoughts come, keep walking and keep walking until you're feeling more calm. Does this sound strange to you? It might, but trust me, it really works for me, so just give it a try. So once you've walked it out and you're feeling more calm, thank your thigh muscles for taking on that problem. Or thank Millie, and she'll just be like, no problem. Step 3. Now that you're feeling settled down, you can look at the underlying issue or message. Now you can look at what triggered the anger. Your heart and mind can't sort it out when they're enveloped in that red cloud. So your legs were the one to do the grunt work and clear the air, so your sensitive heart and mind can now reflect calmly and clearly. As much as this can be hard to admit, the problem is often not the other person or situation. They are only pointing at what we need to look at, and it doesn't usually help by trying to change it or them. Our anger may have surfaced because we are frustrated with ourselves. Maybe we have a pattern of being easily manipulated and we've had enough of feeling that way. Maybe we have a pattern of feeling unappreciated or undervalued and are feeling resentful about that. Maybe we often feel misunderstood, and this leads to strong feelings of frustration that erupt into anger. So now that you are feeling calm and more objective, try to pinpoint what you were feeling under the anger. Journaling might help you in this step. It's often what brings me the most clarity. Just sit down and start writing it out. I find writing by hand is more expressive than typing. If it helps, you can write about the situation that lit the flame and brought the feelings of anger, but try to get to what is really bothering you about your own response, feelings, and actions. Hopefully something will click and you'll know. If not, give it more time. Finally, go for another walk, and this time, gently ponder while you also enjoy and appreciate your surroundings. Breathe deeply, smile, and be good to yourself. I hope this helps. If you want to work on your quadriceps femoris and make them even more capable of helping you, learn how to practice horse stance. And of course, I have a course on it. It's called Ground and Self-Connect. Check the link below. If you are intrigued by this content, leave a comment to let me know what you think. You can also press the like button, the share button, the subscribe button, and even the little bell to let you know when the next video is up. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Be well.